Hi, this is Laura from LiveVisions.com. We're talking in regards to the love language series, and we're looking to see today regarding your fifth house of dating. If you don't know where your planets are, you can go to astro.com and go to their horoscope, and then go to extended chart selection, and then put in your birth details, and this will give you all your placements, and it'll also let you know where your fifth house ruler is, okay? So, all right, the fifth house is the house of fun. It's the house of dating. It's the house of children, right? So what does it mean depending on what sign it is, right? What does it mean? Fifth house of Aries, right? Fifth house of Aries, you could attract a partner. This is also what you may attract for dating, right? You want to look to where you have Mars, okay, where your Mars is placed. That may show where you may meet somebody as far as when you date, right? So if your Mars is in the sixth house, and you may meet people at work. If your Mars is in the third house, you may meet neighbors, people through your siblings. If your Mars is in your fourth, you may meet people through family. Those are just some examples, okay? So fifth house Aries would be a partner who's assertive, aggressive, knows what they want, ambitious, not shy, goes for what they want, right? This person could be very muscular, or they could be into how their body looks, right? Into fitness, into health, right? This person, you may attract people who are very dominant, domineering, I want to say fierce, well, I want to not so much rebellious, maybe leader type people, pioneer, impulsive types, right? People who are assertive, aggressive, right? Can it be an abusive person? Yeah, because Aries is a malefic, is ruled by Mars. Mars is a malefic planet. So, you know, it can be an abusive person. You know, not always is it going to be. But, you know, maybe you like a guy who takes charge, or you like someone who's a decision maker, or if you're a lady and you like somebody who is aggressive or assertive, right? If you're a man, maybe you like a woman who takes charge. You like somebody who makes decisions. You like to just be kind of sitting back and being like, okay, that's what you want to do, you know. So maybe you like the fact that your partner is more, you know, domineering and aggressive in that way. When it comes to children, maybe this is like, this could be hyperactive. This house would be a hyperactive child. Your first child could be a little hyper, right? You know, and Aries is a masculine sign, so it could be a boy, depending on what planets you have in the fifth house as well. Doesn't always have to be a boy, but you know, it can be a very hyperactive kid. And the way you parent, may be you know, you could be very stern with your kids. Like, I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. Damn it, you know what I mean? You could be a bit stern. Okay. And if you want to know about your children, by the way, I know we're looking at the fifth house, but if you want to know what they think of you, look at their sun for father and their moon for mother in their natal chart, right? And for father, also, you're going to look at Saturn, okay? So this is going to give you some information about how they're feeling about the parent. Anyway, okay. So if your fifth house has Taurus in there, this is the person... Fifth house Taurus. This person could be very creative. You know, you may attract very creative, very stable types, very a person who is interested in comforts, in earthy, you know, somebody who is very practical, right? Serious. Somebody who could be maybe a little self-indulgent, rational. Somebody who could be materialistic, right? What else? This person could be a little possessive. You could attract somebody who's a foodie, who loves food. The senses could be heightened with the person you attract for the fifth house, right? This person is maybe their sense of taste, their touch, their smell. All of these things could be heightened, right? And you want to look at where Venus is, right? So Venus is going to tell you where you may meet people for dating. You know, this is even if you're after you're divorced or what have you. You know, if you're just newly dating and you're a teenager, you know, your fifth house, the ruler, is going to tell you where you may meet people for dating. So, because your fifth house is all about fun, entertainment, dating, joy. So you yourself might find pleasure in food. You might find pleasure in soft things, things that feel soft and to the touch to you, anything with comfort you're feeling, you're liking, it makes you feel happy. What else? You like being stable because, you know, Taurus is also financial security and stability, right? So these things could attract you as well. And you could be attracted to somebody like this, right? Children. As far as children are concerned, the way you parent is maybe you like things stable. You want to make sure everything is balanced for them. It's ruled by Venus, you know. So I want to say your parenting style could be, you know, I don't know. You may want things more stable for your children. I want to make sure they have a college fund, or I want to make sure they have everything that they need. I want to make sure, you know, their bedroom is fixed before everything. You know, it's like you're organized. I think there's efficiency here. You know what I mean? Not like Virgo, but kind of. You know what I mean? So this is like, I want to make sure everything's stable and secure for my kids, right? What are your children? Your first child, you know, could be very practical. Could be very earthy. This person, your child, could be very much, I want to say, serious. You know, a little. Your little person could be very serious, a little possessive of maybe their toys. You know, a little materialistic. You know, I want what I want. You know, maybe they love their num-nums. They love their food. You know, there could be a little bit. And again, you know, a little one could be what, you know, I would say a Taurus child would say, that's mine, that's mine, it's mine. You know what I mean? So, they're mine, you know, so because Taurus is all about I acquire. So your little one must like gifts. I want that. I want it, you know, stuff like this. You may have, all kids do it, but Taurus maybe even more. They may, you know, be very serious child too. Anyway, okay. So, as far as a partner, it's somebody who's secure, who's stable, who cares about financial security and stability and comforts in life, okay? So, third, okay, so if your partner or you have Gemini in the fifth house, so sorry. Can you tell Mercury's going to go retrograde in May? I'm like, whoa. Anyway, fifth house ruled by Gemini. You could be attracted to somebody who's extremely smart. I can't talk. I said chart. Who's extremely smart, who's very witty. Erogenous zone is their mind, okay? And you may take pleasure in things that are informative, things that are require conversation. Oh my God, this person could be really talkative too. You may attract partners who are very talkative, communicative, maybe restless. They get bored easy, very curious, and you know, and maybe having a hard time to make a decision a little bit. They can drive on both sides of the road, you know, meaning like they can say this thing to you and then something else to another. You know, they can be of two minds on things, right? So, fifth house. Where you may meet this person, you want to look where you have natal Mercury. Where you may meet people for dating, look where you have Mercury in your chart. Now, as far as children, fifth house, I want to say, you know, Gemini is the twins. You know, you could have twins, but Jupiter, I want to say Jupiter in the fifth house would more so be like twins, right? But you could have very chatty Cathy kids. Your first child could be very chatty. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, very intelligent, you know? Yes. And let me see what else. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm saying. Curious, social, all of these things are Gemini traits related. So you may also be curious. You may also find pleasure in, you know, you may also find pleasure in things that are, you know, informative, like, you know, museums and things like this, learning new things, and could be a thing. Because Gemini does get bored easy. So you're attracted to somebody who's witty, who's smart, who has that great verbal banter. Okay, I would say that's huge. All right. Fifth house of dating for Cancer. So I'm going to say Cancer, you attract people who could be a little shy, who could be a little reserved, moody, all about the home, all about the family, nurturing, a little insecure. Let's see. Yeah. Their mood, you know, like I said, they're moody, very sensitive. And you may be this way when it comes to dating. You may be all about your home and family. Like, well, I'm going to show this person that, you know, I'm all about home and family. And maybe you in turn will be attracting. And maybe you find family fun. Children are fun. Home is fun, right? You enjoy these things. So you're going to attract somebody who's like that. Now, we'll look to your moon as to where you may meet this person. This is going to show you a lot where your moon is, right? Now, children, a first child could be very sensitive, could be very, very sensitive, very attracted to mommy. I need mommy. Where's mommy? Very important to the first child of the fifth house, right? So mommy is huge importance to this. And I want to say this kid may need a lot of nurturing, maybe a little shy, maybe a little introverted, right? Maybe not feel safe unless they're around their home, their family, around mommy. You know, that these are huge things. And this child could be very intuitive as well, very intuitive, right? Major. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Now, if you have your fifth house in Leo, if you have your fifth house in Leo, wow, fifth house is natally, is ruled by Leo. So this person could be a lot of fun. You could be fun too. So maybe what you find enjoyable is being in the public eye, or you like being, what you find fun is your makeup, your hair, and doing things so, just so. You're going to attract somebody who's like, they walk into a room and everyone is like, who is that? Wow, in a good way, right? So this is somebody, they're a stunner, somebody who walks in and it's like movie star status, right? That's very much Leo, right? So it's kind of like somebody who just has charisma and gets attention, right? This is somebody whose charisma is off the chain, right? And who has a lot of attention. Confidence is huge, independent, proud, playful, expressive. If you think of Leo, think of like one of those Persian cats, they walk into a room and they prance in like, look at me, I'm so pretty. Look at me, well, watch me eat out of my crystal dish. You know what I mean? That's kind of Leo. Leo is very much like that. They walk in, hey, here I am, So that's very much fifth house Leo. And they can be fun, and as children, your first child could be very much a little ham, like, look at me, are you watching me? Look at me act, look at me play. They may love your attention. They may love an audience, right? They may love to act or perform. These kids are little performers, right? So where you may meet this person would be, look for where your sun is. Wherever your sun is located is where you may meet this person. Right? First house, they come to you. Second house, it's your job, your work, your income. Third house, siblings, neighbors, short distance travel trips, like red light. Fourth house, home and family. Fifth house, through other children, through a creative project. Sixth house, through your work and day-to-day activities, or even health, like a doctor's visit. Seventh house would be through other people. I met them through a couple, or maybe this person introduced me, right? Eighth house is through money. Somebody's handling your taxes. Somebody's handling your banking. Eighth house could be, unfortunately, a funeral or something like this, or metaphysical. Ninth house is long-distance travel, teaching, writing, publishing, foreign people, foreign lands. So you can meet this person while on a plane or traveling far away, or this person came and traveled, to your state, what have you. Yeah. So, I would say you would probably be the one traveling, though, because otherwise it would be your first house if they come to you. So that's nice. 10th house is through your status. So they have to meet the president of a company. You're the president. They have to meet the secretary to get the paper done. You're the secretary. Through your status is 10th house, right? 11th house through your friends, through groups, organizations you're affiliated with, right? 12th house, it's a secret. It's a secret. Or, you meet them through a blind date, or they're unavailable. I met them because they were married and they were unavailable and I dated them anyway, or I date unavailable types. When your fifth house ruler's in your 12th house, you could date unavailable types, just saying. So, all right, that's the where you may meet them. All right, here we go. Fifth, sixth, what am I doing? If your fifth house is ruled by Virgo, all right, this is the analytical natured person. This is the Martha Stewarts of the zodiac. This is the perfectionist. They're all about the details, right? This is also, may I be of service to you? I want to help you, right? Virgo also, some people may say, oh my God, this person's going to look up my asshole with a microscope, and what the hell? You know, but Virgo's job is to look at the cracks, look at the details of things, right? And because they want to help. I want to fix it. I can fix it. Oh, I can fix it. I can fix that. I can help you. That's their whole thing, right? And this person could be very health conscious too, because they rule the sixth house, right? So if you have your fifth house in Virgo, be careful, especially with children with this placement, that you're not too analytical on them, you know, or, you know, trying to be a perfectionist with your kids. And your little kid, your first child, could be a perfectionist. You know, I want to do things just perfect. You know, I want to do it right, or what have you. Very responsible, right? Insightful too. Analytical is key, right? So, and you want to be careful when dating somebody that you're not so much this way too, because, you know, you may find fun. You may find this fun. Oh, I love organizing. I love perfecting my closet. I love, you know, but maybe you meet somebody who's not as organized and you're like, what the hell? You know, make sure you're not overly critical. That's what I'm saying. Be careful. Look to where you have Mercury. Wherever you have Mercury is where you may meet this person. Okay? All right. If you have the fifth house in Libra, this person is balanced. They could be very creative. This person is sweet, charming, graceful, diplomatic, peaceful. They love partnerships, right? So, and they like their aesthetics, right? So here's the thing. If your fifth house is ruled by Libra, you may draw in these types of people. And you may also be this way, charming, sweet, graceful, right? And maybe you enjoy being around couples, you being around other people. You enjoy this. You have fun, right? And you like being the peacemaker in relationships. If somebody's having an issue, you love being the, mediator. Well, how can I help? How can I fix this, you know? And with children, if you have children, fifth house Libra, this child could be maybe sometimes indecisive. This child could be very balanced, very sweet, diplomatic, pretty peaceful, graceful child. Maybe they care about how they look. But mom, my shirt doesn't match my shorts, you know, or whatever, you know. They don't like to cause, like, if you have a fifth house, your first child in the fifth house is Libra, this kid doesn't probably want to cause disharmony or make anybody angry. So this person could a little bit be a people pleaser sometimes because they just want to keep the peace, right? And it could be even at their own detriment. Well, I really want to go to Chuck E. Cheese, but I know that mom doesn't like me eating junk food, right? But I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to upset mom. You know what I mean? Even though they want it. So these kids can be really sweet sometimes, you know. I mean, I want to say, yeah, most of the time, probably. So anyway, yeah, fifth house Libra. So I covered that. Where you may meet them, you're going to look for your Venus. Wherever your Venus is where you may meet your dating person, fifth house Libra. Now, if your fifth house is Scorpio, for dating, you're going to look to where you have Pluto, and then you want to look to where you have Mars. You know, Scorpio has a ruler, which is Pluto, and a co-ruler, which is Mars. You're going to look for these two planets. It's going to give you information on where you may meet people for dating. Now, your partner could be obsessive, secretive, mysterious, intense, you know, jealous, primal, lustful, sexual. They could want that mind, body, soul connection. It's me and you against the world kind of a thing, right? They can be manipulative, destructive, depending on how they're operating on the side of Scorpio. But then again, with the fifth house of Scorpio, you may enjoy this mysteriousness. You may enjoy this possessive nature because maybe you are too. You know, so you're like, oh, I know he cares about me because he doesn't want anybody else to have me, you know, because maybe you're that way as well. So there's an intensity with the fifth house, right? So when it comes to dating, sometimes when it's good, but when it sucks, because it can get too intense, where there's power plays and power struggles with Scorpio. So you have to be mindful of this, right? Now, yes. So where your first child, I want to say it could be a little possessive, right, of mommy or daddy, you know, and, well, probably of mommy because it's, you know, well, it depends on whose chart you're looking at. So if it's your chart, whoever you are, your child, male or female, could be possessive of you, you know, maybe, and they could be a little manipulative little one, right? They could be secretive. They could be really, you know, they like mysteries, this kid, really wants to find out the hidden realms of things. Well, I'm going to do research, Mom. I want to figure out why that's like that, right? You know, they could be secretive at times, right? They could be manipulative. You know, how kids can do that. Manipulation. I think it comes natural for all children, but maybe more so with the Scorpio 5th house, right? They could be a little jealous. So if they have a sibling, well, how come he gets it and I don't? That's totally, you know, Scorpio 5th house, right? They could be destructive. Why did you break that toy? Because you weren't paying attention to me. I broke it, you know? So you want to watch this behavior, right? Sometimes if these kids are acting out, you want to ask yourself why. What's going on, Johnny? What's happening? Why are you doing this? So, yeah. So anyway, there's an intensity with this child, the first child. That's what I'm saying. All right, so when we're going to your 5th house in Sagittarius. 5th house in Sagittarius, you may love to travel. You may love risk-taking, traveling. You could be open-minded, optimistic, adventurous. You may be blunt, and you may love foreign people from foreign lands, right? All of this stuff. But you could attract somebody who's the same way, right? You could attract somebody who loves all these things. Risk-taking, traveling, exploring, freedom, open-minded, optimism, you know, being blunt. Sometimes people may think that this is the person you attract could be a little tactless, right? Things that they say are so blunt, and you're like, what the hell? You know, whoa, that was honest. Brutally honest. You know, they could be brutally honest. Maybe you could too, because you have the 5th house. So you enjoy all these things like outdoors, hiking, outdoorsy types of sports, and maybe large animals and things like this. You enjoy these things. Now, when it comes to where you may meet this person, you want to look to where you have Jupiter. Wherever you have Jupiter may be the place where you may meet people for dating. Now, if you have a child whose 5th house is Sagittarius, this is the kid, boy or girl, who you say, you want to go camping? And they're like, yes, in the woods, great. You know, maybe kids are like, great, we can pee outside. You know, it's like, to other children would be like, oh, no, I'm not going in the woods. No, thank you, right? This kid may say, I want to travel. I want to go on vacation. Oh, great, Mom and Dad, we could go on vacation. I want to go somewhere really far away. Yay, right? Or this could be a kid who's like, oh, I love bike riding and jumping, and they love outdoorsy things, little kids, right? Let's go on a picnic, right? Let's look at nature. Let's go to the zoo and see all the animals. Right? This kid is going to be adventurous, really adventurous. You have to be careful, though, because they can be a little risk taker. You know, this is the kid who says, oh, I bet you can't jump off all these steps and not hurt yourself. Oh, I bet you I can. Yeah, this kid may try shit. So be careful, right? Because they have this sense of optimism, like, oh, nothing can happen to me. I'm Superman. My dad must have had this placement. I got to look at his chart. Because, yeah, as a kid, he jumped off they were building steps on all these stairs on a house. And my dad somehow climbed up and was going to jump off. And he jumped right into where they had these metal stakes into the ground where they were going to put the cement. And it went right into his spleen. And they had to take his spleen out when he was a little guy, like 6 years old or something. And he almost died. And it was, yeah, but he had a cape on, so he felt like he could do it. You know, I guess he said he had a cape on. Yeah, and so, anyway, that happened. But I guess that he wouldn't have met my mother otherwise, because he met my mom. So this happened when he was in 3rd grade. Fourth grade. No, 3rd grade, because he had to do it again. So he met my mom, basically he met my mom in 4th grade, because he had to go over, he failed a grade because he missed so much school. But anyway, my point exactly. Too much adventurous can be too accidents, and they had this over sense of optimism. Like my dad thought, since he was wearing his little cape, that he would be fine, you know. So you got to be watchful. That's totally fifth house children in Sagittarius. Now, here's the thing. Capricorn, fifth house Capricorn in dating. So you could be attracted to someone who's very serious, right? Who's very mature for their age, practical, could be a little shrewd, ambitious, hardworking, resourceful, very cautious, patient, enduring, disciplined, yes, and wise. So you could be all of these things yourself, right? And what do you consider fun? People may say, I like my job. Well, I like working. You know, these people may have a hard time learning what fun is. Fifth house Capricorn. Virgo risings, anybody? Yes. So if you're a Virgo rising, you do have fifth house Capricorn. Most of you do. So a lot of these people have a hard time figuring out what is fun to me, right? So you gotta, you know, try to open yourself up to have a little more fun in life, I will say. But where you may meet your partner can be where you, for dating, where you may meet this person could be seen by your Saturn. Where do you have Saturn, right? Children, first child. First of all, children, you could have children either late in life, and some people may have them not at all, right? I have fifth house Capricorn, and I'm telling you, I didn't think I was going to have kids, so I just gave up. And, you know, over the years, I would buy baby stuff, and I just eventually just gave it all to my cousin who had a little boy. I'm like, here's all my stuff. You know, I'm good. And as soon as I did that, I got pregnant. I was like 40 years old, and I couldn't believe it. I nearly fainted when I found out. I was like, no way. I was going through some change of life. But anyway, this is seen by a lot of people who have fifth house in Capricorn, right? So you're not expecting to become pregnant, or, you know, it happens so late in life, you're like, what the hell? Also, I want to say, you know, your child could be very mature for their age. Like, even when they're young, they're kind of very mature. The first child, right, could be very mature for their age. So that's what I'm seeing with that. All right, so Aquarius, if you have your fifth house in Aquarius, you know, you could attract someone who's very edgy, who's very future-minded, future-focused, independent, humanitarian, a friend, who's idealistic, who is expansive. Well, I want to say this is not, I'm not going to say expansive. No, that's Jupiter or Sag. I will say this would be more edgy, eccentric, unique, rebellious. Don't anybody tell me what to do. I'm going to do my own thing. I want to make sure if I do something, though, it's good for everybody involved. Somebody who could be a little detached, somebody who it's makeup, breakup. You know, fifth house Aquarius can play out where it's makeup, breakup stuff, right? So you got to watch that. But I want to say sometimes this person could be a bit detached at times, where they may give you the impression they could take you or leave you, which can make you feel like shit, you know. So but you could also have this energy, so you need to make sure you're not putting that energy out there. And if a person is acting this way, you may want to call them on it, right? This person could be very, very intelligent, yeah, but likes to do their own thing, like doesn't like to be told what to do. So if you think that you're going to possess somebody with Aquarius fifth house, you're not going to possess somebody you're dating who acts like this. No. This is somebody who doesn't want to be possessed in dating, right? And maybe you could date many different types of people, very eccentric than you. And you're like, oh, I like different people. I like, you know, different people from different groups and walks of life, and, you know, it could be your thing. You may get pregnant unexpectedly with Aquarius in your fifth house, or you can have a child through, I want to say, unconventional ways. So you may have a child unconventionally, like in vitro, right? Or we had a surrogate, something like that, right? Your firstborn child could be very eccentric, could be very different, could be, you know, very independent, you know, could be very much, this is the kid who says, I can do it myself. You know, I don't want any help, or I just want to be left alone, leave me alone. This is a kid who plays with their dolls by themselves. Right? They'll just go in a corner and play with their dolls, and they're fine all by themselves, and they don't give a shit. Right? Yeah. Not to say that they don't love friends. They do love friends. This is a kid who does have friends, but their friends are from all different walks of life. They can have different cultures of friends, different groups and wealth backgrounds of their little friends and their friends growing up, and they like all their friends the same, which is very cute. What else? Sorry. This kid, let me make sure it's recording. Okay. So this kid could also be, you know, liking to be around others, but also liking their space as well. Okay? All right. Well, let me see. 30. Okay. Now, if your fifth house is ruled by Pisces, your partner, the fantasy can be better than the reality, right? And hold on one second. Okay, fifth house Pisces. Where you may meet this person, you want to look for Neptune, and you also want to look for Jupiter. Pisces is ruled by Neptune, co-ruled by Jupiter. Okay? All right. And did I do Scorpio? Did I talk about, if I missed Scorpio, okay, if you guys want to know where you're going to meet somebody, if you have Scorpio, fifth house, Scorpio is seen by Pluto and Mars. I think I did say that. I don't know if I did. Anyway, Pluto, Pisces is Jupiter and Neptune and Jupiter, okay? That's where you may meet somebody. It'll give you more clues. So, Pisces. You know, the fantasy could be better than the reality. This is somebody who could be very spiritual or very creative. But then again, this is also your potheads. This is somebody who's like, man, I just want to get tuned out of life and play my guitar, you know? This is somebody who's spiritual too. Like, I like to meditate a lot. You know what I mean? This is somebody who's like, can be emotional, an escapist, can be mystical, sensitive, compassionate, healing, intuitive, but also can be an escapist and creates a lot of confusion, illusion, deception with you, especially if they're involved with drugs or alcohol. You want to make sure that you're looking at this person clearly, that the fantasy is not better than the reality, and you also want to see them for who they really are. Make sure you're not wearing rose-colored glasses with this person, right? Or making sure that they're not deceptive to you. You know, this is wherever you have Pisces, you serve or suffer. So you may always attract people for dating that need help in some way. You just want to make sure you're not enabling, or, you know, there's a discernment level here. Wherever you have Pisces, you need to use discernment, right? Example, you know, dating people who always can't do for themselves, right? But there's a difference between, you know, I'm dating a guy who was at home with his mom because he's having a house built because he just got divorced and the house won't be ready for another 4 months. That's different than I'm dating a guy who lives with his mother who doesn't want to get off his ass and likes the fact that his mom cooks, you know, 3 meals a day for him and does all his fucking laundry. That's a big difference. So you really want to use discernment when you're dating somebody here, okay? And, you know, you'll learn over time. But where you may meet somebody is seen by, you know, like I said, Neptune and Jupiter, right? It's going to give you some. Now, if you have children, with Pisces, this could be the child who's very sensitive, very sensitive. This could be emotional kid, right? This is somebody who's real sensitive and can pick up on the moods of other people like nobody's business, right? I can tell mommy's mad. I can tell mommy's mad and I'm just going to cry, you know? Or I can tell, you know, this little one is very sensitive to other people. So if there's a lot of yelling and screaming in the house, it could really affect this kid in a negative way. You know, this kid may cry easy, or their feelings, little feelings could get hurt easily. So you want to be compassionate because they are very compassionate children, right? And you need to love them. So yes, Pisces is a very creative kid too. These kids could be very creative. They could love spirituality. This is one kid who may like going to church. Maybe because they, you know, they want to grow up and be a nun or a priest, or, you know, it just depends. Some people, you know, Pisces energy could, depending on where their planets are, the child, you know. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that. But this kid may like going to church, or maybe they also like praying and, you know, all of that thing. And this kid could be more spiritual maybe than religious. Doesn't always have to be. But what else I'm going to tell you? This child may love art, may love making their own little creations, right? They could love music, you know, or when they're older, maybe writing, poetry, or books, or this kid likes being lost into a story. They may love when you do story time, right? Tell me a story. Tell me a story. They could be really great with that, you know. So when you're dating somebody, though, you got to be careful that you're not looking at an illusion, that you're looking at things clearly, and that you're not falling in love with the fantasy of what could be or the potential. A lot of times Pisces energy is like, oh my gosh, with my help, this person could be great, and I'll fix this, and them, you know. But you want to look at who they are in the here and now, not the potential of the person, right, for dating. So that's hugely important. All right. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful, you guys, on the 5th house and dating and the love language. And I just threw in kids there because 5th house does rule children. So anyway, please like, share, and subscribe if you have not already. And leave me ideas for future videos that you would like to see. We have one more video, which is the 7th house of marriage, and where you may meet your marriage partner coming up. So anyway, watch that video. Anyway, I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.